Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to show you something that fixes a trade-off that analytics platforms have lived with for years, and it takes about 2 lines of SQL to prove it. And just so it's clear up front, this is all running on Instaclustr's managed ClickHouse. So the cluster itself, like lifecycle, upgrades, and operations, is handled for you. We're not standing anything up on EC2 by hand. Here's the trade-off. File-based storage gives analytical databases the performance and semantics that they're built around. Object storage gives you cost efficiency at scale. So just pick one, and you usually give up some of the benefits of the other. So most teams try to bridge them, and bridging usually means ingestion pipelines, duplicated data, caching layers, or some intermediary query engine sitting in the middle. Well, every one of those is another moving part and another thing that can fail at 3 a.m. ClickHouse is designed for high-performance analytical access to files. So with Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP, you can expose your data through the ONTAP S3 interface and query those files directly from ClickHouse without first loading them into ClickHouse managed storage. So there's no staging layer, no ingestion pipeline, no format-specific copy, just to make the data queryable. And because FSx for ONTAP presents everything through a single namespace, you query your data through ClickHouse the same way, no matter where it lives. Your schemas, your queries, and your application logic stay exactly the same. The storage handles the rest. Here's the part that I'm most excited about. This integration now works across VPCs and across AWS accounts. So your ClickHouse cluster can run in your VPC and consume FSx for ONTAP storage that lives in a completely separate VPC or a separate account entirely. That matters because real enterprise environments already separate compute from storage. Network boundaries, account isolation, and storage governed by a different team. So now you can connect an FSx file system that you already operate or have Instaclustr provision and manage a fresh one for you. Either way, it's integrated with a fully managed ClickHouse cluster. And that's what makes this more than just storage integration. So let's talk about why it matters. Think about the data that you're already sitting on. Historical logs, clickstream data, security archives, IoT telemetry. So instead of loading all of that into your analytics cluster and paying to keep it hot, you leave it on FSx for ONTAP and query it only when a question comes up. The archive stays where it lives. ClickHouse reaches in only when you need it. So now the demo. So let me show you how little it takes. ClickHouse uses a named collection to store the connection details and credentials for the ONTAP S3 endpoint. And you copy that straight from the Instaclustr console. Then you point a table at it with the S3 engine. If the data that you want is already sitting on FSx for ONTAP, you don't even need a standing table. The S3 table function lets you query the file system directly in a single select, which is perfect for the archives that you're leaving in place. Notice how there's no load step, there's no copy. The data stays on NetApp storage and ClickHouse reads it where it sits. And if you'd rather have a standing table or create an ingest data from ClickHouse itself, that works too. You point a table at it with the S3 engine. So you have SQL, create table, S3, FSx for ONTAP table, the string engine S3, named collection, file name. So that table now maps to data sitting on FSx for ONTAP, and you interact with it using familiar ClickHouse SQL. So that's the shape of it. One storage layer queried directly. Your archive stays where it lives, and ClickHouse reaches in only when you need it. Compute and storage scale independently. So you're not paying for hot performance on data that's sitting cold. And the cluster itself stays fully managed the whole way for provisioning, lifecycle, tuning, all handled for you. Unlike single product alternatives that solve only one part of your architecture, NetApp Instaclustr delivers a unified, fully managed open source data platform for the full lifecycle. From Kafka messaging and streaming to ClickHouse analytics, so you can scale faster without stitching together multiple vendors. Links are below.